So Rework was set up by 6 local residents who were a bit concerned with the number of teenagers who were hanging around the streets during the day when they should be at school. And you know, legend has it that 11 years ago they were sat in a pub discussing it and wondering what they could do about it. And what they did was they got themselves a van. They arranged with the council to have access to Merrywood Boys' School, which was closed at that point and has since become The Park on Daventry Road, which is a learning centre. And they'd round the boys up in the morning, give them a cooked breakfast, and then teach them whatever needed doing that day. So if there was plastering needed doing, that's what they did, you know. So they picked up skills. It was a different thing every day, different team of boys every day, generally. And yeah, so that's why it was set up and how it was set up. And since then, of course, we've expanded. And from 6 people, it's now 13 workers here.
All school does is mostly gives you work, you do what you do, but this actually properly gets you out here, gets you doing things.
Right, well what the lads are doing today, my 2 students, they started training on the strimmers 2 weeks ago, before half term, so 3 weeks into half term. And this is sort of them working on their own after they've been trained. So as you saw with Sean, he did all his pre-start checks, he did a walkthrough. Now he's sort of clearing away the bush, which he can't do with the strimmer because it's detrimental to the tool to do that.
And the overall aim initially was to re-engage young people who have just, you know, sort of don't fall into the academic category and weren't getting on at school. And it's kind of expanded to our volunteers as well. Because it works with students, it can work for adults too. Basically, it's to give people a reason to get out of the house in the morning.
Do you prefer it to school, and why?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because, like I said, early mornings, don't have to get up really early. I do like, I'm a learner, I'm a hands-on learner, I don't like sitting in front of a board, writing stuff off a board, I don't learn like that. So I'd rather be hands-on, fixing the table rather than writing about it. So yeah, I enjoy it more than school.
Rework is a social enterprise, so what that means is that a large chunk of our money is actually created through income generation. And what that means is that we get paid for certain services and products that we have. So in the shop, for example, the things that we sell, they generate income. We have flats that we rent out, that generates an income. We have we provide building services and gardening services, and we have some contracts that all provides an income as part of our charitable objective.
Right, so a lot of what we're doing here, the reason why we're taking the roses out from this bush is because they're not recognised under the undergrowth. So because we don't tend to have a lot of money to buy plants for this park, we'll just transfer them when they're used elsewhere.
What are your relationships with the boys like?
I love them. And I think one of the greatest things that we joke a bit about, you know, sort of the team, because we are such a mixed bag. And it is a bit like an episode of Lost being here. We're all here for different reasons and finding them out as we're here. One of the really good things about it is that we have such a lot of adults to so few students on any one day, that not only do the students get all the attention that they need, but also they can pick and choose who they have a good relationship with. So every student has got someone for whom they are their little favourite, you know? So every student is special to someone on the staff.
I'm down from a company called Working Links for the day, and a really good thing we do as part of our corporate responsibility, and just because we're a community project, is to give things back to the community for a day. They're picking things up, they're all having a go and getting hands-on work, getting stuck in and doing things, and they seem really interested by it, which is the main thing. So it's really engaging with people and getting them doing things, being active, getting out there and I mean, at the end of the day, you're making furniture for a community charity shop, so it's all going recycled throughout the community, giving something back to the community, and also helping the community up by kind of engaging with the youth and helping them to get productive skills that can lead to, you know, increasing the economy in the local area.
When we come in, a lot of the customers will get a discount because they're taking us on, we get a grant through a CIP, which gives us a grant to do elderly, disabled, people on job seekers allowance and housing benefits homes for a reduced price. So if on the average garden, if it was just me to come in, it would cost them £10 as opposed to 80. The CIP grant fills in the rest of the money. So that's one reason why a lot of those customers come to us. The other customers, yes, like you said, they generally tend to want to have a charity working for them, even though it is slightly higher priced than the standards. They just want to give to the charity, and they want to see these young people progress. We've got a few long-term customers that even know the kids. They know them, and they've seen them come in and not be able to do anything, and then one day they're mowing their lawn and they'll stop me and say, oh, you know, he's doing all right. So on that customer base, we do tend to get a lot of feedback that's positive.
The sort of people that come and work with us find it very difficult to get into routines. They find it difficult to interact with other people. So the benefit of coming to us and spending money on our organisation in general is that we do something that many other organisations can't do, which is that we cater to the individual's need to embrace what they haven't been able to get to in their life.
From sanding down this to redo really. It's come from the workshop across the road, and like if you look, all these bits here are like all tatty and that, so we've got to take off the varnish, probably slap on a new bit of varnish, and hopefully it'll be alright then.
As a sort of rule of thumb, about 6 months it takes me to sort of get them used to the working environment, get them used to working around a group with tools. So if we had a full set, we'd have maybe 4 students and 3 staff. So we've got 7 people, all particularly working in quite a small space. It takes a little while to get them to get used to that. And initially they come in and they don't really know their place. And as they gradually progress through the system, they'll get knowledge of when to, say, sweep up, when to sort of come in after the work's been done. And then that's when we sort of choose to progress them to the machinery. When that happens, I'd say 9 times out of 10 they pick it up within the first week really well.
Chicken Friday is our favourite day of the week. And it's only because one of the most, for me personally, the most important thing about what we do here is that we all sit down together at breaks and lunches. And so all teams, all students, all volunteers, everybody sits down, shares food, hassles people to eat food, you know, keeps an eye on everyone, and lots of banter, lots of fun, lots of chat. Really love the lunches.
And they'd sit back, they wouldn't like cut a piece of chicken off for themselves, they'd want Susie to do it for them or somebody else to get it for them. But now, after like 2 or 3 weeks, they're into the chicken as fast as anybody else.
What's your best memory?
Best memory? Spray painting with Maria.
Yeah.
We had this old table and we had a load of spray paints donated, so we had to test them out. We were just spray painting for table and having a laugh and everything, so yeah, that was a good memory.
But we do have, a couple of our ex-students who, when they came to us, were troubled little fellas, and now they come back for a cup of tea every now and again, and they're working, and that gives me a really warm feeling. But we've also currently got success stories still here, of people that we are about to lose because they're going back to mainstream, and we'll shed a little tear, but also pat ourselves on the back.